if I was born biologically male, my life would have been a lot easier.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pretty Unfiltered. So it's Pride Month, and today we're talking about non-binary with Miles McKenna.
Hello.
What up, Miles?
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I was gonna say Kim Possible because you're giving us Kim
Honestly,
Possible chic right now.
That's really what I'm like here to do, so thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna step out.
Honestly, I
Is there your
identify
little
as
fashion
Kim
show?
Possible, so if you're the same, like my pronouns are, no, I'm just kidding.
Comment if you identify with Kim Possible.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about non-binary,
Sure.
which I'm so glad that you're here because you can really
I can speak
from
to
the
this.
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can speak from the heart. So for anybody that might not know, what does non-binary mean?
So non-binary, it means that you don't really necessarily jive with being a girl or a boy. I've had such a gendered experience. I identify as a trans guy, but I have lots of feelings towards gender neutrality. So my pronouns are they, them, or he, him. But yeah,
Thank you for clarifying, because I was going to
Yes.
ask you that. What
Yeah.
are your preferred pronouns, which is always a great thing to ask someone that's non-binary.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's best not to assume that you know. I mean, I feel like that's the way the world's going anyways. Like with
Totally.
the whole gender neutrality, I feel like in the future, they're not going to see a baby. And just because of their genitals, not only think that they're going to be a certain way, but think a certain way, and they're going to treat them differently. I've started passing as male, and it's not only have I lived the world where people have perceived me as a straight girl, and then perceived me as a gay girl, then perceived me as a straight guy, but I've also lived since going through testosterone.
Yep.
Lots of emotional, not only physical changes, where I've gained a lot more empathy because I've seen the world from a different way, and people have treated me differently. And ultimately, I feel like I've been treated better when I pass as a guy, which is so
Really?
strange. Like I feel like it's so strange, and I could go on and on about it, but
Well, no,
I think,
please
yeah,
do, because I
yeah.
think this is a really interesting topic, because you recently started testosterone, right? Like
Yeah,
2 months ago?
yeah, 3 months ago, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so what made you finally, I guess, comfortable to step forward with that? Because I know it probably was a hard decision.
Yeah,
Or was it?
I mean, yeah, I've had such a gendered experience like in my life, and I feel like it started way back when I was a child, where I wanted to cut my hair short when I was 5 years old. All my friends were guys. We had school uniforms in elementary school, and I wore the boys' uniforms and not the girls' uniforms. But at the time, I didn't have the language to put to how I felt, and it wasn't a safe space where it's like, oh yeah, this is a thing, and that's okay.
Well, things like YouTube and social media have definitely helped that too, because like you're able to start a conversation and actually find people that you identify with on
Sure.
the internet.
Yeah, I feel like, just someone being 100% authentically them, no matter what they are, no matter who they are, someone being 100% themselves can validate so many other people, because it's like, oh, you're okay, that's all right, cool, I will be too.
So you do refer to yourself as transgender, non-binary, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you were born male, would you refer to yourself as non-binary as well?
See, I like that question. I was asked recently, like, so do you feel like you were born in the wrong body? And it really took me a second. And I was like, if I was born biologically male, my life would have been a lot easier, been a lot happier in a lot of different points in my life, 1,000,000%. Like in my childhood, through my teen years, I wouldn't have had to deal with all the stuff that I dealt with, and I would have been a lot more comfortable with myself. However, with that said, I wouldn't have gained a lot of empathy that I did, and I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I wouldn't be, I feel like, a voice for so many others, and like, I still would identify with non-binary, because I feel like it's just gender neutrality is something that I really feel strongly for, and I don't even know if that's to say it from my identity or just from a political standpoint. I feel
Yeah.
like it's just, I feel very strongly about this being a thing. We're all just human on a basic level.
So you started testosterone though.
Yeah.
So then let me beg the question, so then why go the testosterone route?
Because it just makes me feel the most comfortable. I mean, I say, like, love who you want to love, be referred to as what you want to be referred to as, and do whatever you need to do to feel the most comfortable. There's only one rule to life, and that's just to be kind to one another.
Amen. Yes, Miles. Okay, so how did your fans react when you told them that you went from, okay, I'm a lesbian, to now I'm transgender, non-binary?
Yeah, it's funny. So I never said I was a lesbian, which is such a thing. I would always say gay girl, because there was such a
Gay
thing
girl,
as gender.
okay. Yeah,
And then people,
oh,
you know what I mean? Because I
obviously.
felt so uncomfortable with this, which is like, there's so many things looking back where it's like, duh. Like, there's so many times where I was like, I don't know if I'm trans, and like looking back, if I could go back in time, I'd be like, okay, no one else in your classroom is literally feeling uncomfortable because of their gender, because of the way people are speaking to you every single day.
Wow.
So that's probably like a red flag.
Yeah.
But whatever. At the time, I'm like, I don't know. So yeah, it was fine. Like, it was so fine.
Did they
like,
ask you, like, wait, what does that mean? Like, you're going from, this to this?
No,
Like,
literally, I
they-
already had so many young trans kids already watching me. And I do a show now on Fullscreen called Hella Gay, where I talk to people all about gender and sexuality.
So great.
And just have honest and open conversations, just to be like, bottom line, you're not alone. And my whole thing with YouTube and everything I do isn't to be like, I have all the answers and I can help you figure yourself out. It's really just to be like, hey, like, I get really dysphoric and like, I'm still figuring life out. And someone really close to me recently said, you're taking an experience that is normally very private and you're making it very public. That's my job.
Exactly.
So it's
just creating awareness too.
True.
That other people are going through what you might be going through. That's why I love YouTube.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you don't subscribe to the idea of gender, but you were very clear that you know that is your opinion because you don't push anything on anybody else.
Yeah, because I feel like I grew up with things pushed on me from like the opposite standpoint. And like I said, I feel like there's one rule to life. It's just to be kind to one another. So, I view the world a certain way, but I understand that that's my opinion.
Have you had people come up and say, you know what, I don't really understand like why you think this way?
There's been things that, have come up that I've heard about, especially in the YouTube world where people have been not nice to other people in regards to of gender expression, and especially with being a part of like a third gender, which is like being non-binary.
Yeah.
And I just think it's silly. Like I really just like laugh at things like that. It's like, why would you spend your time putting down someone else? That makes no sense. Like that, it's cool. That's fine if you don't agree with this. And it's funny because now I can look at the outside perspective. Like, whoa, I can so see how you don't understand someone's born like not feeling like themselves because of their gender. Like that makes sense to me. Like I can see how you can think that, but like my only response to that is you're so lucky you've never dealt with that.
Totally.
That's so great. Like that you're so awesome that you feel comfortable in your body, and I'm sure you don't in other ways. I'm sure maybe your religion or your race gets hate, or maybe you don't like your weight or something. Like we're all not super happy. So like just live your life.
We all have our own things that bother us, but it's empathy I think is the biggest thing too.
True.
It's just like try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like you might not be able to understand it, but that might help in some capacity.
I was talking to someone and they were telling me how their cousin just came out as trans, and they're like, it's kind of like when someone's mom dies. If someone tells you their mom died, she was like, I can't relate. All I can do is support them. And that's the same with trans. I can't relate, but I can support them. And I was like, that's such a great way to respond to that. Like,
that was beautiful. I love that. Do you remember a time where maybe you were shamed when you were younger for who you were?
Oh, for sure.
And it affected you in a way, but then you ended up coming out on the other side better for it?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like for me, it was a big journey of self-discovery because I didn't have the language to put to who I was, and it wasn't a safe environment for me to. And then it was a lot of self-loathing because it was like, you can only do the whole, I'm gonna be myself and I don't care what anyone thinks about me and I'm gonna do me like for so long until, for me in my journey, it ran out of steam and I was so upset and I turned to a lot of self-destructive things, and I was very, very self-destructive for a long time until it got to a point where I was like, I'm using other people as a scapegoat. Like, oh, these people won't like me, or these people won't accept me, or like my bubble isn't totally okay, so I'm gonna do this to myself because of you guys. It's like, no, I can use the tools around me that I have right now, even though it's not the best circumstances, and I can choose to have the best life possible.
What's the most common question you get from people?
Oh, common question, like, how do I come out? How do I do it? How do I come out?
What do you say?
I always say, like, come out when you're ready, and it's okay not to know who you are right now, and it's okay, not to come out if you don't want to come out right now. And I've talked with kids who are in like LA where everyone's super, super gay, super, super trans, it's okay, and they feel weird because it's like, oh, everyone's okay, but I don't feel okay, but I should feel okay. And then kids who are in really bad situations in their home, make sure you're safe. And, I always say, write everything down. Like I would, if I could do it all over again, I would have given my parents like a notebook or a PowerPoint and be like, hey, here's what I am, here's what that means, here are people in the media that are also like me, here are words that you can use, here are words that you cannot use. I feel like people react poorly because they don't have all the information or they're scared. They're like, LGBT is evil. No one thinks they're the bad guy. No one's like, I'm gonna ruin my kid's life. They think that their kid is going down the wrong path because that's just what they've grown up believing.
Totally.
So give your parents the most information that you can.
That's so smart. Okay, so let's talk about Hella Gay.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Yeah, Hella Gay is a show. We just came out with the second season. So the second season just came out where this time we actually traveled America and we talked to amazing people just that are strong, successful humans that are doing things in the community. So, we talked to people that are transgender, non-binary twins. We talked to someone who went through conversion therapy and is leading the fight of ending it. It's still legal in, I think, 44, 46 states in America. And they were mentally abused and physically abused. And like I met a lot of they, thems. I met a lot of people that are, in subcultures, people that are in sports that are, have gender inclusivity. I met people that are just being themselves. And it's really something, when I went into making the show, I was like, I want to make something that I could have watched when I was 13, 14, 15, like the really cultivating years where I was like, I don't really know who I am, but you have a lot of outside opinions on who you should be.
Totally.
And just be like, hey, here's a grab bag of, people that are here, like queer family, here are people that are drag kings, here are people that are, work at the White House and, have they, them pronouns. Like, here's a big mix go watch it and go either get informed, get validation, or just feel like you're not alone.
That's amazing. All right, guys, let me know your favorite part of this interview in the comment section below. We're gonna put all of Miles' social media in the caption. What is it? Copy? Description. I never know. It's such like a formal word. I'm like, it's down there. You'll find it. As always, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Kirbie Johnson. Please send me any guest ideas, any topics you want us to see, you know, what you guys want to see covered on the show. We're here for you, and we love making the show to help bring awareness and make you guys feel good and feel like you're not alone. So, Miles, I'm out.
All right, me too.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.